So we are telling you all about the things that can go wrong during production. And as terrible as that might sound, they're pretty good to know about because then you can kind of plan for them and hopefully they won't go wrong for you.
So what happens, like how do you deal with things like lost luggage?
Oh, I dread to think. There's only one real time I can think when our luggage was lost, but it actually turned up 24 hours later. So it wasn't, a complete disaster. But I think, we travel with the cameras in hand luggage. So if things get lost, it's more likely to be the checked luggage. Wherever possible that you can take things in hand luggage, you're gonna, be less likely to lose it.
I sleep a lot better knowing that there's production kit that I can make a film from right there with me the whole time. Even if I have to make do without a tripod, because you've really got to check those, that's fine. Maybe I can find a camera shop and buy one at the other end. Maybe I can place it on a table or, rig something up on location. I can live without a tripod. I can live without a light. I can use natural light. I can't live without a camera and some microphones, so I take that with me.
Yeah, so depending on where you're going, check if there's camera hire places before you go. Then if something really does go wrong, you can kind of hire something and get through if you need to, and that's going to be a better solution than just the whole shoot not happening.
All right, what about pandemics? I mean, we've just been through 2 years of dealing with pandemics in one of the most locked down countries on earth. We worked with other filmmakers around the world, so our pivot was to actually reach out, and we worked with amazing filmmakers in different parts of Africa, in Colombia, in America, and elsewhere, and we just had to make it work, right? It's not ideal. It does mean you need to brief them into your way of filmmaking. You need a lot more communication and collaboration, but even that can be done if you're really in a jam. So we've even had that in cities where we haven't been able to get to a particular part of the production and hired a local cinematographer to go and do that while we were going and doing something else. So, you've got to think outside the box sometimes.
That's a really good point, what you said just then. So if you've been doing an overseas shoot and you can't get back to the location but you need a pickup, you could hire a local filmer to get whatever that is that's missing from your film. So, you ran out of time or a participant got sick and couldn't turn up on the day, or you missed some key piece of your story but you can't afford to fly all the way back there, you could hire a local filmer.
What about if you're using a smoke machine and, the risk of a fire alarm going off?
Okay, so my early career was as a production manager, stage manager for theatre, and so I was taught a lot of health and safety, and I was also taught to always isolate the smoke detectors. So I haven't actually had that problem.
And I've had multiple police engines rock up to shoots, shutting down locations. I remember shooting in a jail once and someone set off a flare inside a jail cell, and 5 minutes later there were 5 police trucks there, and it was just a nightmare.
It was a decommissioned jail too, so it wasn't
definitely
your fault. It wasn't an inmate.
Yeah, he almost was though. But, so you've got to do that, isolate the fire alarm, think it through. If you're going to be setting off something that's going to let off smoke or a lot of heat, it's going to set off a fire alarm. If someone's, God forbid, if someone's smoking in one of your scenes, then, you've got to think about that as well.
But the other thing with fire alarms is that there's a couple of times we've been filming in, corporate offices, and the fire alarm, what do you call it, like a drill, a practice alarm has gone off right in the middle of the interview.
Yeah, we had that just a couple of weeks ago. And you're going to get constant sound interruptions when you're doing sound recording. It's like a running joke, really, isn't it? So as soon as you roll camera, there's going to be some guy on his leaf blower, or there's going to be a plane or a helicopter that goes by, and the world's loudest motorbike's going to cruise past. It just goes on and on. You're going to have to deal with that all the time.
So now that we've probably made you completely terrified about all the things that could probably go wrong on your shoot, just be rest assured that they probably will go wrong at some point in your career. The longer you're filmmaking, the more things that will be likely to go wrong. And you know what? You'll deal with it. You'll get through it. It's just all part of the process.
All part of the fun.
So we'll be back next week.